The Florida Gators take down the Texas Longhorns 29-21. What a weird game this was in the swamp. And I texted you guys this right before kickoff. I said, if Texas comes out flat, we had some whispers that maybe Arch wasn't fully healthy. The AC joint might have been sprained. The running back situation was questionable. What were they going to do with Trey Wisner? Was Jarrett Gibson going to get carries? The defense had guys missing, specifically Manny Muhammad in the secondary. And so I said, if Texas comes out flat, if they allow Florida to get this crowd into it early, that's kind of the only way I see them not winning this game. Boy, howdy, that is exactly what happened. Florida marches down, I think, 13 plays, ran the ball right down Texas's throat, and we were off and running in the swamp. What was kind of your big takeaway from Florida's upset win over Texas?
I'll start with Florida because we do like to talk about the winners first. And you're absolutely right. They committed to that ground game. Jaden Bow was amazing. 27 carries today, just kind of put the team on his back. DJ Lagway had a career day throwing the football as well. But my biggest takeaway is Texas is who we were afraid they might be. And that is fully confirmed at this point. They had 3 weeks to kind of try to figure it out. We were, microanalyzing games against the likes of UTEP and Sam Houston and trying to figure out if this Texas team was actually for real or not. We have an answer now, guys. They are not for real until proven otherwise. They have a lot to do to prove that they are a legit team, a legit contender in the SEC, or even now they have to probably win out against the schedule to make the college football playoff. And as someone who in the offseason was trying to get people to tap the brakes on this Texas team. Yes, I'm a hater. Yes, I'm a fan of a rival team. Put that aside. I was just trying to get people to tap the brakes a little bit with so much brand new. That brand new is on display. We can talk about Arch Manning. I think the bigger problem right now, I don't know if it's injuries. I don't know if it's just yips. I don't know if it's just not processing the game at the speed that he needs to process it. That's for somebody that's way bigger of a QB guru than me. The thing that I can see, my dumb self can see with my two eyes, is that offensive line is the biggest drop-off on this team from last year to this year. It is not in a good place right now. Yes, Florida State has a great defensive line. Yes, they're going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of teams in the SEC this year, but that offensive line, man, it is not giving Arch any time to do anything. And he has not lived up to the expectations, but that offensive line has been way worse than anybody could possibly imagine, because we were just told, hey, there's 4 and 5 stars on the bench. They're going to jump right in. They're going to be fine. There's going to be no drop off. Yeah, that's not how it works in the SEC, and it's not how it works across all of college football.
Well, and respectfully, Garrett, I don't know if you want to throw Andrew's comment up in the chat. Yes, Texas has lost a lot of production, and we did talk about that. I mean, that's why we tempered some of our expectations with that. But I would also say this to Texas fans, you can't have it both ways. You can't say we're the best team in the SEC, Arch is the Heisman, our offensive line is going to be totally fine, our defense is going to be bulletproof, and then when rubber meets the road and you lose to an opponent that, listen, talented is all get out. Do we actually know what Florida is? We'll talk about them in a minute. In a tough road environment, there are a lot of ways you can explain away this loss, but in the preseason, when we were being assured that Texas was ready to go, that this team was just built different, that the SEC was no problem,
the recruiting has been the best of all time, and it's just going to reload. We're not going to rebuild.
So I can't, and I've heard this from a number of people already, that yes, are trying to explain away this loss, and there are perfectly valid reasons to explain away this loss, but you can't have it both ways. You can't tell me early on, oh, none of this is going to matter, we're going to be able to reload just fine, and then say, well, we had to reload. We're replacing these guys. The offensive line has these issues, whatever. You were the
preseason number one. You were the preseason number one.
Yeah.
You don't get to play the we were reloading game. And whether or not you as an individual Texas fan, if you're listening to this, probably not listening tonight, because if you're like me, I don't like listening to things after losses, but
tough night to listen.
Whether or not you as an individual actually believe that hype, you were getting that hype, and it was all centered around Arch Manning and the recruiting classes.
Yeah. So, my thought here on Texas is they do need to get healthy. It was always going to be a tough spot to go into the swamp and win. Now, has not mattered to some other SEC teams. It did not matter to Miami last year. So plenty of blame to go around. But Texas's flaws were on display today. And I thought the defense played well at spots. I thought there were good moments, but this team is not as complete as what a lot of folks were trying to say preseason. Now, let me flip it over back to Florida. Where do we net out on this Florida Gators team? Like, I sent this in the notes. I wrote this to you guys in our group text. Like, is this the dead cat bounce? Do we have to continue to pretend now going forward that Billy Napier has a shot, that he's some sort of a good coach? Or guys, do we just kind of think, hey, every once in a while, a really talented team at home is going to find a way to win?
It's definitely part that. We want to give Florida some credit here. I think a lot of people will rightly say that Texas has been overrated and Texas was not the team that we thought they were in the preseason. I think all of that is fair criticism, but we need to give Florida some praise on this and say, hey, coming into this game, the narrative was that Texas's defense was so dominant it probably didn't matter. They could score probably 20 and Florida wouldn't be able to get anything going because DJ Lagway's looked that bad. DJ Lagway looked pretty fixed today to me, and I think a massive part of that was having a big time guy like Dallas Wilson out there. Like, look, we can say whatever we want to. I want to highlight that guy. I'm officially afraid of him. He's coming to our house next week, and I'm afraid of that because he looked like a stud. He looks like he can do whatever he wants to. It's his first college game. He goes out there, catches for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's gross. Like, that's disgusting. I don't want to play that. So for me, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, look, Florida took it to Texas when we heard about how good the defense for Texas was. They ran on them extremely efficiently. There were a lot of times in that game that when Florida wanted to have it, they had it on the ground. A lot of, you could say blown assignments, but I call it getting beat off the ball a little bit because they were out physicaling Texas for a lot of that game. Honestly, the reason the score looks as close as it was is because Florida, you talk about taking your foot off the gas for Miami. Florida took their foot way off the gas. My big criticism of this was Billy Napier is extremely lucky to escape with this win because some of that third down play calling was
Terrible.
playing to just try a little bit and extend some clock out. And it was like he didn't think that his team was going to be able to win. There were a lot of really conservative third and long, we're just going to run the ball and try to see what we can do. Where I think that if he tries to push it a little bit more, maybe scheme something up for that Dallas Wilson, they might win this game by a whole lot more, and it never looks close. So, look, again, this is a good moment for Florida. We want to go ahead and say, like, hey, this is a good thing. Your Florida season is not completely dead in the water, but I think there's a lot of people that would also acknowledge there's a long way to go for this team in terms of the staff decision making, the killer instinct, and all that. But you live to fight another day, right? There's a lot of reasons why Billy Napier should not be the head coach tomorrow. But one of those reasons that he is that he didn't lose his game to Texas, right? They didn't get run out of the building. They didn't get completely shut down. Ultimately, that's what we are right now as a Florida team. So congratulations. You should feel good about this. I don't know if this means that you're turning your season around. Big game next week going on the road to Kyle Field, but go win that game at Kyle Field and we can start talking about Florida turning it around.
Yeah, pull up that comment from Billy there. My next point was DJ. I was encouraged by what we saw from him today, and he wasn't even playing healthy, guys. I mean, gosh, he was limping around at times. He got rolled up on. Texas pass rush got to him a number of plays in a row, and I started to wonder if DJ was not going to be long for this game. He did make a couple of passes that should not have been thrown. The interception was not good. The interceptions in general for both DJ and Arch in this game were some really poor throws, but he did find a way against a very good defense at home to move that offense down the field. And it felt like, more importantly, every time Texas found some sort of answer, some sort of counterpunch, here come the Longhorns, here's the momentum, here's where the game flips on its head, DJ and that offense would lead a response. They would go find a way to put points on the board and keep Texas at arm's reach basically that entire game. For all of the learning moments and the flack that DJ has caught, the injuries certainly have not helped. I thought today was a massive growing moment for him. Now, as you said, he's got to go on the road and do it next week. He's got to find a way to put together those performances multiple games in a row without buys in between, right? It's just consistency is the name of the game here. And I think seeing what Billy Napier goes on the road and does next week will bring us a lot of answers to that question. So, yeah, Florida, impressive win. Texas, back to the drawing board. 3-2. Now to start the year, the question I kept seeing circulated was, where does Texas get ranked? I'll tell you guys right now, Texas will not be ranked on my ballot tomorrow.
Not in my ballot.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
What have you done? Nothing.
What have you done?
I want to call this
Penn
out
State
because,
too. Not
well,
just
yeah,
not
Penn
just
State
Texas.
Oh
too.
yeah, no.
No.
Goodbye, Penn State.
I
Thanks for
want to say
playing.
one thing on this. There are 3 SEC teams entering Week 7 without a win over a power conference opponent. They are Kentucky, Arkansas, and Texas. I'm sorry, Texas, you don't get ranked for that. You just don't. One of those teams fired their head coach. The other one can't afford to because they owe him all his money like 3 weeks after they fire him. So let's just, again, pump the brakes. Let's beat a team in a power conference, and then we can start thinking about being ranked in the playoff and everything else. And look, you get a chance to do it against Oklahoma. Like, you can go shut a lot of people up if you go beat Oklahoma, especially if Mateer's the quarterback and you go beat them. So go beat them, and yes, we'll give you your oatmeal cookies. But at the same time, it's not a great look right now for Texas, and I think they're probably going to be waiting another week to get that first win.